Using a combination of sarcasm and humor as a public sanction against inflexible behavior, we've been trying to clean up the world since we started handing out the Worst Person Awards all the way back in the summer of 2005. Somehow it just keeps getting worster. In our number one story, with that said, it is my pleasure to announce that beginning tonight we will begin a new weekly segment in which we take all of the Worst Person winners and nominees from the past week and declare the supreme champion, someone whose remarkable idiocy dwarfs the landscape of numbskullery we have identified over the preceding 5 days. In a few moments, we will mint our inaugural Worst Person in the World of the Week. First, here are your nominees. For recognition as the first ever Worst Person in the World of the Week, you need to say something stupid.
Look, by all accounts, the Bush administration defeated al-Qaeda, so we won the terror war.
Very stupid. But is it worse than this Tampa weather guy?
I just think the whole global warming doomsayer theory is just tough to see based on recent calculations.
Is that worse than SNL alum turned Hannity panelist Victoria Jackson smearing the president?
My motivation is gone because he will punish me if I'm
if there's one thing you don't have to worry about is your motivation.
Communism is just take Cuba.
What?
If you're successful. That's a big if.
Obama wants to be
Castro. According to his...
There was also that state senator from Florida who voted for an anti-bestiality proposal but wasn't sure why animal husbandry would still be allowed. Quoting Larcenia Bullard, people are taking these animals as husbands? You need to look it up. The return to federal stem cell research gave the Fox crew a chance to televise wingnut internet commentary and feigned disgust about it.
People like to really get honest with it, so here we go. From Kim Owens, Hitler would have loved it. From Dan Thompson, it is the only thing that Obama has done right. Dan Thompson in Pine Hill, New Mexico. Remember, if you give a monkey a keyboard, he will eventually type a word correctly. Ouch, Dan.
Roger Ailes took the fall for that, and I don't know why that news actress acted surprised.
Ouch, Dan.
Considering one of those loons does an hour on Fox News every day.
Do you think maybe we could avoid the harvesting babies for their organs or stem cells or cloned bodies?
Also, former Republican Speaker Gingrich came out with his Newt deal, paying teenagers to not get pregnant, bringing the GOP out of the wilderness with state-sponsored prostitution.
In fact, this may be a first.
After author Michael Wolff came on this show and said the following about the New York Post Obama chimpanzee cartoon.
Now, this is all about Carl Allen. It's all about he chose the cartoon.
Guess who showed up on the New York Post's page 6 3 times after that? Oh, yeah, and they took a feeble whack at me, too, so Rupert Murdoch was honored twice this week, matey. Rupert loses $50 or $60 million a year on that vanity newspaper of his, just so he can try to bludgeon his critics and those who will tell the truth about him, and the news terrorists he calls employees, most of whom would eat him alive if there was an extra $40 in it for them. Add to that pile the pile of tonight's honorees, the Manatee, Congresswoman Bachmann and Glenn Beck, meaning the first ever field for our first ever Worst Person in the World of the Week is set. And after digesting all the nominees in one place, I think you have to go back to the beginning of that piece of tape we just showed you. Let me play the soundbite once again.
Look, by all accounts, the Bush administration defeated al-Qaeda. All right, al-Qaeda was marginalized, been downgraded as a threat to the world. So we won the terror war.
Now, I know you're looking at the guy over at the side there in the bow tie doing this. But let me read the O'Reilly quote again and let it sink in. Look, by all accounts, the Bush administration defeated al-Qaeda. All right? Al-Qaeda was marginalized, been downgraded as a threat to the world. So we won the terror war. I don't think he understands that the war on terror, as misleading as that term is, began in a place called Afghanistan. Say what you want about Iraq, whether we are winning, have won, or will win. Afghanistan, the place where the war on terror began, is nowhere near decided. You can ask the 17,000 additional U.S. troops about to deploy there, or the U.S. and NATO commander who said this week that there are large parts of Afghanistan that our allied forces are not winning in. It takes a willful suspension of logic to think it's all over, let alone to state that by all accounts the Bush administration defeated al-Qaeda when its leader, the man who ordered the hit on the 3,000 people in New York and the Pentagon, remained untouched by the Bush administration for the 7 years, 4 months, and 8 days after the attacks. Forget by all accounts the Bush administration defeated al-Qaeda. You mean, Bill, by one account, and it's only yours. Thus is it now my honor to name Bill O'Reilly, who is singularly declared mission accomplished in the war on terror, as the inaugural Worst Person in the World of the Week. It's going to be tough to say every Friday. Let's count down for this, the 2,134th day since the previous president declared mission accomplished in Iraq.